Welcome to the Diary of a Pan-African Preacher. There's an African proverb that says, it's not what you called or what you are called, but what you answer to that matters. Our world has witnessed centuries of European colonial influence, with its lasting effects still felt today. One of the most pervasive legacies of colonialism is the practice of renaming geographical locations, often erasing the indigenous languages, cultures, and histories of the regions it conquered. This imposition of foreign names is not merely a linguistic shift. It is a tool of cultural dominance and a way to assert control over colonized territories. Despite the apparent changes and progress made in society, certain fundamental aspects such as the imposition of power remains largely unchanged. The renaming of indigenous landmarks by European powers is one such enduring practice that continues to affect the identity of African and other colonized peoples of this world. Indigenous place names carry a wealth of cultural knowledge deeply tied to the history, geography, stories, and spiritual significance of a given location. These names often reflect a people's relationship with their land, marking important landmarks, natural features, or events tied to their communities. Place names are not just labels. They are living expressions of history, culture, and identity, deeply interwoven with the worldview and experiences of the indigenous people. For example, the African name for Victoria Falls, Mosi Oatonia, means the smoke that thunders. This name encapsulates the majesty and power of the falls, blending natural beauty with cultural significance. However, the colonial practice of renaming places often wiped out such meanings, replacing them with European names that disregarded the deep connection local communities had with these landscapes. The renaming of places is not a random act. It is a deliberate tool used by colonial powers to impose their culture and establish dominance. Early colonial colonizers were well aware of the impact of their actions. As they traversed new territories, they carefully documented the places they encountered, including the names used by the indigenous communities. These names were often recorded with little regard for their cultural significance. More often than not, the colonizers replaced the indigenous names with those of European origin, frequently linked to colonial figures or European cultural markers. So it's not surprising when the US President Donald Trump declared on Sunday, February the 9th, the Gulf of America Day, and his renaming a body of water in the Gulf of Mexico with the aim or purpose to restore American pride. This decision hankers back to a former era, the colonial era, and his imaginary endeavor to make America great again. His colonial impulse was to erase or replace indigenous identities and to further solidify the Western narrative of ownership and authority. So we should be aware that even as the world shifts towards post-colonial efforts of recognition and reclamation, the more the imposition of foreign names reflects an unyielding colonial legacy. Ashe.